Okay, now Zippy,
Yes, Mr. Vegas?
you're my favorite intern, and I like you a lot. So this week, I'm putting you in charge of the pie graphs.
Pie? I like pie.
No, Zippy. Pie charts. This is a very important week in the BPFFL. We need you to go over the charts.
Okay. Zippy, get charts now.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Week 12 of the Johnny Vegas Show in the Board People's Fantasy Football League. I have no other way to say this other than it is a mathematical anomaly where we are in Week 12. We are in a position where every single team still has a chance of making the playoffs. On top of that, looking at the scoring models of the players involved, we have a potential for record numbers that have never been seen in the history of the league. To help this, my wonderful and trusty intern Zippy has put up the following slides to demonstrate my point. Let's start off with the A-holes versus the slaughterhouse. Now, as you can see on this picture, there is something in here that clearly points to the slaughterhouse by 3. You see, you look at something like this, and that's when you realize that, much like the wonderful brother who runs the Thunder, slaughterhouse owner James is saying, me too, I want a streak too. I've been ever so good and want Mrs. Steinhoff to make me goodies. Mrs. Steinhoff is very nice. She made me a sweater once. I don't wear it. But slaughterhouse by 3. Up next, we have the Senators going up against the Terror. Now, I want you to take a look at this following chart. As you can see, this chart seems to favor both the Senators and the Terror. But if you look closely, you'll realize that in the case of the Central Division, a Central 2 is equal to a Global 5. The parity that exists in this picture versus the game itself is mind-bogglingly good. Mind-boggling good to the point where I'm going to give this one to the Terror by 14 points. Up next, we have the Roughnecks going up against the Snakeoctopus. Now, we really don't need a graphic here, but I want you to look at this. Take a long, hard, steaming gape at that picture. It's not pretty. It's kind of downright frightening. But it's the situation that the Roughnecks find themselves in. That picture is as descriptive of the Roughnecks as I've ever seen, as they are this close to getting the final nail in the coffin delivered by the Snakeoctopus. I don't envy the charge that the Roughnecks have to do. I haven't seen a charge more suicidal than the one at San Juan Hill. But I never studied history, so I don't know how that worked out. Snakeoctopus by 5.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
If Lieutenant Kendrick gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred? Colonel, Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Object!
And when it went bad, you cut these guys loose!
Your Honor!
You had
Counsel, I'll
Marcus
hold you
inside
in
a phony
contempt.
transfer!
Your Honor!
You doctored the logbook!
Damn it, Captain!
You coerced the doctor!
Consider yourself in contempt.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did!
Up next, we have the Thunder versus the Vandals. Now, look at this picture. What do you see wrong in this picture? If you are a trained, astute observer of football as I am, you notice that there is something very wrong with this picture. Wrong for the Thunder. You see, they have the 10-game streak. They have locked up their division. At this point, deep down in their hearts, they're saying, hey, we got the number 1 seed. No one can take it. Why bother? Not that it'll be easy, but that picture alone allows me to give this one to the Vandals. But just to prove I'm not totally aboard that Collins choo-choo train, Vandals by 1. And finally, we have the Extractors going up against the Hangman. Now, look at that picture. Look at that beautiful graph. Isn't that something? Isn't that the kind of picture and graph that just makes you want to put your hand on your chest and start singing God Bless America at the top of your lungs? Yeah, it does. So, it's one of those things, I've got to give this one to the Hangman by 8 points, because right now is their chance. They could win it all, baby. They could win it all. And it could start this week. Hangman by 8. Well, thank you all for enjoying this week's show. I'm hoping it was as good for you as it was for me, and made even better by the wonderful technical prowess of our good friend, Zippy. I am off until next week. Good luck to all the teams, because week 13, it's going to get scary. I broke the frickin' puppet!
Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I see you. Have a good week. down there! Look out! Look out! See you next week.